Virgo, welcome to your Moving On reading. For those of you who are new to the channel, Moving On readings are exactly what they sound like. It's about moving on. A whole reading dedicated to it. Now, it could be anything that's something that's very simple, very small, to something that's very complex, but it usually involves an idea, a feeling, a way of thinking, behavior patterns, situations, people, places, things, circumstances that we do not have, well, we don't know how to make progress in. Okay. Any sort of progress. To fix it, let it go, adjust, become flexible, willing to make change, the willingness to shut something down because we know it doesn't work, so on and so forth. So the idea is we need to move on, make progress. I know that, but I can't see myself on the other side of it. We're in this place of stuckness. And this is where we need to look at the self. Okay, so moving on readings, if you're not familiar, really focuses on the self. Not a them or a they or extenuating circumstances, because those will always be a given. Are you alive? Then you will always have extenuating circumstances. Okay? The idea is we need to look at ourselves and how we are acting in it or not acting in it. We're thinking towards it or not thinking towards it. What we are feeling or not feeling towards it. And that, in and of itself, with some more information, should give us more to work with on how to generate change or to know when to stop participating in something altogether. Okay? So with Tauruses, I saw an opportunity for progress with somebody who is very intimately within their immediate approximation. And that's going to require a confrontation that revolved conversation in order to make progress. But it wasn't necessarily moving on from the situation. It's just an idea of how we can get foot in the door to make some sort of change. Okay? So, having said that, let's take a look at you. Do note that for these reasons, because it's a more in-depth look at the self and what's going on and creating all that stuckness and how we're holding ourselves accountable or not, these can go into areas of sensitivity. Okay. If you find yourself becoming increasingly frustrated, upset, or frankly just pissed off, okay, it's either not your reading and you don't understand why it's not your reading, so you're forcing it to fit. Don't do that. It's not your reading. Check your other placements. No big deal. Or because something's hitting you in terms of resonation and you don't want it to. In which case, I'd advise you to pause it, watch it later, or don't watch it at all. All tarot, like all YouTube, is free will. Okay? I'm aware of the sensitivity involved in these readings. But guys, I do the real stuff because I want people to be more invested in themselves and making progress. That's all. So there you go. What's going on, please? Show me Virgo. Show me Virgo. Show me that Virgo collective. Show me that Virgo collective. The Six of Pentacles, starting position, Four of Pentacles. Okay, that's interesting for you. The Knight of Pentacles, Two of Wands, the Hierophant, Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles. Possibly some progress, not by leaps and bounds, but something. A willingness to show, well, we'll clarify and see how far it goes. But towards the ends, a willingness to consider possibly new avenues or opportunities or behaviors to change what I'm seeing here. And I don't know how direct it is. It's interesting because the Six of Pentacles where you are, it's the starting position. It's pretty decent. The balances. I'm like, okay, cool. What's the problem? There's something here within your balances that you're holding back from. You're not giving your full self to with the Four of Pentacles. I see you withholding something in your day-to-day energy activities that you say you're used to, that you're used to balancing with. That's what the Six of Pentacles is, but you're saying you don't give all of yourself to it. Not anymore. At least in one of these situations, you just don't. I see you withholding a big chunk of yourself. You're saying, I'm not giving to that situation. Six of Pentacles. So we'll break that down and see what that is exactly. And then I had the Knight of Pentacles. Feelings to confront. Something about time has taken place or time has taken effect. Enough time for you to have seen something come and go and get the direction of it. And it's either on your pathway where you want to be or it's not. The idea is you've had enough time to look back at it and see for yourself if this is the direction you want to be in indefinitely. Two of Wands, hidden energies. You are not acknowledging that you have a decision. Such a little guy, these Two of Wands in these pages. They can be so very telling depending on placement. Hidden energies. I don't know what you're talking about, Christina. There is no decision to make. Yes, there is. Just because we don't want to acknowledge the decision doesn't mean it's any less there. We just don't want to acknowledge it. The Hierophant is in your strengths, your ability to commit to something. The Page of Swords. Okay? Lessons that you need to learn before proceeding. Gain more insight, not less. Don't minimize your interaction, maximize it. That way you have a full comprehensive scope before doing anything else. In the Page of Pentacles for you in the future, possibly new investment, little guy, we'll see. We'll see. Earth energy can be surprisingly deceptive. You guys will show me pages and 2s and 3s and be like, it's no big deal, Christina. And then I clarify, and then you show me towers, and then you're showing me death, and then you're showing me lovers, and then you show me all this complex stuff. But you're like, don't put too much into it. I mean, oh my God. Literally, Christina, don't read too much into it. And it's like, me? Maybe you should put more into it, because it seems like it's kind of important. But then you guys are like, it's not though. Show me that 6. Again, once more, for those of you who are not familiar with my personality, I laugh a lot. I like to express myself. I'm not dowdy. I'm not a jar of mayonnaise. I am spicy mustard. Okay? I do have a personality. I do express myself. Once more, I'm not laughing at you. Show me that 6 of Pentacles, please. Show me that 6 of Pentacles. Show me that 6 of Pentacles. Justice. 10 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. So let's see that 4 of Pentacles. I think I have an idea of why you're withholding. Let's see that 4 of Pentacles. Let's see that 4 of Pentacles. Let's see that. It's kind of like you're saying I do enough. Hold on. I'm not going to disagree with you. The thing is, have you addressed it? Show me that 4 of Pentacles, please. Show me that 4 of Pentacles. Show me that 4 of Pentacles. Show me that 4 of Pentacles. The Moon, the Hermit, Ace of Swords. It's a truth you have. You've become withholding, and you don't know why. You're not seeing this. It's unconscious motivation or subconscious motivation. You have a truth in you, and literally, truth in you. That's you right there. There's your power card right there. It's the Hermit, the Ace of Swords, and the Moon. You have started to withdraw activity, real world activity and effort in what looks like your everyday kind of surroundings, your day-to-day stuff for which you are contracted to. This is anything from going to work to having any sort of contractual relationship energies, the back and forth exchange with people. And you're saying it's getting harder and harder to maintain certain contracts because you're not getting as much cooperative energy, and you're like, if I'm giving less, it's fair. And typically that's something I agree with more often than not. What do I tell people all the time? Do not give more than what you're being given. That's how you maintain healthy contracts. But you're saying it didn't always used to be that way. You used to say the 6 of Pentacles and whatever the situation is used to be a lot more fruitful. And it hasn't been cooperative in a long time. So you started giving less to it, which makes sense. But I don't see you having addressed it. You're doing this completely 100% as far as I can tell unaware. You are giving less and less to a situation that you are accustomed to. It exists in your 3D world. It's with you every day, but you give yourself less and less to it. You're saying it's too hard. It's stress, and you know what? If I give less to it, it's fair, because it's not giving back to me. I don't disagree with that, but the fact that you're not addressing it, that you won't allow yourself to address it, that's where the problem comes in. Because people are seeing you as just being withholding and being uncooperative or uncontributive without any why. In other words, it looks passive-aggressive. Well, that Virgo used to give more. They used to participate more, but now they ain't doing nothing. What the heck? Now, you have your reasons. Okay, you have your reasons to give less. You're saying it's hard and it's not fair. I agree. It's a basic construct. Somebody's supposed to be in there constructing with you in the sense of fairness, but you're saying it's not. So you're saying you do just enough to get by, and it's fair is fair. The situation is too hard, or it's not helping me enough, so I'm not going to give much to it. But the thing is, you're not openly acknowledging that you've given less to this situation. In other words, I don't think you've addressed it at all. Okay, that 4 of Pentacles is active withholding. In other words, this situation is going to continue to remain unfair, and you're going to continue to give less of it, and you yourself are looking uncooperative in response because we're not acknowledging this. Now, there is nothing wrong, absolutely nothing wrong. If a situation's unfair, and you know it is, physically, in terms of, you know, you're doing way too much at work, so you decided to turn it back because you can just say it's not my job description. Cool, you're technically correct, but that doesn't solve the issue, does it? Addressing it solves the issue, and this issue is unresolved. It hasn't been spoken of. It's under your moon. In other words, you're not even aware of how much you have withdrawn. So again, if you're not listening, I don't contest you giving less to the situation. It looks like you need to. But you're not turning around and looking at why you're giving less to this. There's this unconscious effort to equalize the situation by giving less to it, but you're not addressing it. In other words, it doesn't fix the issue. It doesn't fix the issue. It remains hidden to you and whoever else is in there. So it kind of looks like you're withholding your time, energy, and effort in a passive-aggressive way. Okay. When it's really just trying to equalize the situation, but without addressing it. So that doesn't work. You can't fix or equalize the situation without fully addressing why. Okay? Because it doesn't fix the issue. You have the truth in you. You do. But you're going to have to get confrontational with it. And some of you are not comfortable with confrontation, I understand. But that's all the more reason why we have to look to ourselves, not less. Okay? Or we're always going to say it's that situation or that person instead of owning our particular truth. So if you're in a situation where you say, it's straight up unfair, so I'm going to give less to it, cool. You have part of the solution, but you're not fixing the whole problem. We need to get in there and address that. Because you honestly don't know from your point of view that you're withholding this much. All right? I don't want you to give more to a situation that's not fair. No. You'll never hear me say that. Your output's correct, but where it's coming from isn't. Okay? So, like I said, it won't fix the problem unless we confront the problem. All right? Otherwise, what you're doing here makes perfect sense to me. It does. You think the situation's not fair? Talk about it. You know that, well, they should know isn't going to work. That's the blind leading the blind. That gets us nowhere. Okay? No. It's in there, honey. It's within you. You have the tools right there to address it. It's time we talked about it. Otherwise, that 6, healthy balance, goes into a 3, and then that gets whittled down to a page, and suddenly you're not involved in it at all, and then you become angry and resentful and bitter and say it's not for me at all. That's correct. That's because we didn't address it. I mean, we cannot fix what we don't acknowledge, yeah? The Knights of Pentacles, please. Show me that Knight of Pentacles. It's been moving in a particular direction for a while, you know? Ah, the Lovers, the Star, the Wheel of Fortune. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What is this? What are you doing? What is that? What are you doing? What the hell is this? I mean, that's fine if that's where you got to go, but you're not acknowledging that this is where you're going, but you are going in this direction, whether you know it or not. The Knights of Pentacles, the Lovers, the Star, the Wheel of Fortune. That's very slow. But whether you're not confronting this at all. You are not confronting these feelings. Your energy, realistically, as the Knights of Pentacles, I don't care how slow it is, slap some Wheel of Fortune on there. That's very slow. But over time, your particular knight is plotted towards a direction that says, I want a very strong connection. Not only do I want it, I feel it, I desire it as the Star. So, your Knight of Pentacles, I don't care how slow it is, honey, is trying to pull up to a particular station, but you're not confronting yourself on it. This is where you deign to be at some point in the future. But you're not confronting yourself on it. You're not acknowledging it, in other words. This is where you want to be. The Lovers and the Stars. The ultimate connection. One that you can see with you long term as well. And you can reach for forever and indefinitely. That loves you forever and indefinitely. Which is beautiful. I grant you. And yeah, it will take time for that to stretch out and play out the way it does in the future. But you're not acknowledging that you're headed in that direction. And it has nothing to do with it. I'm not done with this. You're giving to it less every day, but you're not acknowledging it either. And you're right, it doesn't look fair. It doesn't feel fair. It feels like the weight falls on you. So you reduced your efforts. But why aren't you acknowledging it? Let's see that Two of Wands and the hidden energies. I don't have a decision to make. Yes, you do. Show me that Two of Wands, please. Show me that Two of Wands. You're desiring, honey, your particular knight, I don't care how slow his ass is, has been wanting to pull up to a whole other station for a long time now. A long time now. There's no mistaking that. There is no mistaking that. I know where you want to be. Do you? Show me that Two of Wands, please. Show me that Two of Wands. Seven of Cups. Death. The Six. Oh, you tricky little biscuit. Oh, you think you were gonna... You think that's not a big... God dang you, Earth signs. Sometimes you just so... It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, Christina. Mind your business. This is my business, boo-boo. This is my business. And guess what? Business is good. Okay? So let me tell you what's up right now. If you don't want to hear it, this is your chance to exit. Okay? Are we on the same page? You cannot fix what you do not acknowledge. You don't want this. This core right here that we opened up with. Recap. I know I repeat myself. That's because a lot of people are really good at hearing what they want to hear. You don't want this, but you're not acknowledging it. So what you're doing is you're reducing your real-time energy towards it. And it is real. 3D, it's happening right now as we speak, as I'm talking my words. You are in connection to this and you don't want to be. So you have been reducing your real energy towards it. Time, energy, effort. 3D energy as well. It's all in there. It's spendable. You can spend your mental energy, spiritual and emotional and physical energy towards a particular context. And this is a situation that has that. And you have been reducing it methodically, little bits and pieces over time because you don't want to participate in it anymore. That's why you won't acknowledge it. You don't want it to acknowledge that you don't want this anymore. Because if you acknowledged it, then you'd have to work on it, right? Then you'd have to fix it. And you don't want to work on this. You don't want it to fix. You want it to go away. But you don't know how to address that either. Yet. You want to know how... You see that? You think that was a coincidence? You think that was a coincidence? It doesn't give... I got it. I told you I don't blame you for that. If something's not giving to you in appropriate measure, like it used to anymore, and that contract becomes null and void, it's your choice to either keep participating in it or reduce your energy to a more appropriate output. Okay, it's giving less to me, so I'll give less to it. I don't want to completely do away with it. But you're saying it's hard to even give it that little bit. Right there. You're still justified for giving it less. But you're saying even giving the Three of Pentacles to this is a right pain in my ass, but I'm going to keep doing it. I'm justified in reducing it. Again, I don't disagree, but you're not questioning why. You withhold that. Hardcore. There's the truth of you right there under the moon. There's the... That sounds like one of the truth of you. I don't know why they hit me so weird. If you want to know what unending heartbreak sounds like, pick up any album by The National. That's what this feels like to me. You know, it's like the truth of you's in there, and this is how things really stand, and this is what it's really like, and it kind of reminded me that I don't even know that it's a particular song, but it has that feeling to it, where you're losing something, but you're not aware of it, and also, P.S., you don't want to be part of it anymore. Anyway, that hit me really weird. The truth of you. I don't know. Anyway, that's The National if you want to check them out, but don't listen to it unless you really want to take an emotional trip down sadness lane, okay? It's not for everybody. All right. So anyway, you don't know that you're doing this. Subconsciously, you're giving less and less of yourself to this every day because you don't want it anymore. How do I know that? There's a decision over here. It's in your hidden energies. Again, I don't want to acknowledge it, Christina. What is that? Guess what that Six of Pentacles is showing back up this time with death. Seven of Cups. You have not committed to the feeling that you wanted this to be over. Hence, from your point of view, you have no decision to make yet. You don't want to work on this. You don't want to fix it. You don't want to heal it. That's why your hermit's hiding. Okay? You. That's why your hermit's hiding the truth. You don't want any more opportunity to work on this, fix it, or put it. In fact, you keep finding reasons to put less and less of yourself into it every day. What does that tell you? That something's fixable and workable, or that it's time to move on from it? Because let me tell you something. You acting like you don't have a decision in this, no. That's where you actually have the most decision, is what you want the least responsibility for. People think choice is getting what they want. Wrong. Wrong. Observe life. When has that theory ever been true? Choice is not about getting what you want. Choice is about getting what you need. Real choice. So that's why the strongest choice is the least attractive choice. Because giving ourselves what we really need is like forcing ourselves to eat broccoli every day. Okay? We don't want to do that every day. Now, don't get me wrong, aside from the weird broccoli lovers that actually exist out there. Most of us really just want to chase what we desire, not what we need. What you need is to acknowledge that you have a decision in here. What you need is to acknowledge that you don't want to participate in this anymore. So I understand you minimizing your energy, and that gives you temporary relief. The less of you put yourself into it. But what does that tell you about what the hell this is? Strength, says the Hierophant. Is it? I made a commitment to the Six of Pentacles, therefore, the Hierophant. They all have, honey, they all have pros and cons. I want to see how you're using your Hierophant, just like how you could use your Emperor. Like any other power card. How good or not it is depends on what you do with it. Okay. Some of that Hierophant, please. Some of the Hierophant. In order for you to move on from this, you have to acknowledge that you want to at all. You don't want to participate in it anymore. But you got so used to bearing that particular subject. I don't even know if you're aware that it's a potential headline in your story, honey. Let's see it. Some of that Hierophant, please. Where you actually want to be is somewhere else altogether that has nothing to do with this. Some of that Hierophant. And I don't presume to know what that Six of Pentacles is to you. Ideally, it's something that functions bare minimum, and you get something from it that suggests profit. That could be anything from real life finances to love, depending on how you view that Six of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, the Sun, the Ten of Pentacles. See, strengths is that you want to commit to stability, that you want to commit to you, your strongest self, your most independent self. You want to commit to strength and happiness. So the Ten of Pentacles surpasses the Six by miles in terms of stability, function, and contract and loyalty. Whatever this is, you're losing loyalty for every day. Just to be blunt. You're losing loyalty for whatever that Six of Pentacles is to you every day. I think it's a good strength in you that you want to commit to your foundation. And that also includes in you that sense of self that you help create this and your happiness. So whatever this is, does it meet this criteria? Does it personally make you happy? And is it stable? Let me tell you something. When you go from a 6, downsizing it, to a 3 that you can barely maintain, look at, or face, is that stability or instability? There's a reason why subconsciously, honey, you want to move on from this. It's almost like, again, if you're afraid, because there's that idea there, if I acknowledge it though, Christina, I'll have to fix it, and I don't want it to fix. It's almost like you want it to fade away. What you feel inclined and the strength to commit towards is so much bigger than whatever this is. Let's see that Page of Swords, please. Lessons learned before you can move on successfully. Page of Swords, more insight. We need to acknowledge what we're afraid to acknowledge. Some of that Page of Swords, please. Some of that Page of Swords, some of that Page of Swords. Some of that Page of Swords, please. I was about to say, I thought you were going to show me like I'm trapped in this commitment, but I consider the strength. You're actually showing me a beautiful Hierophant who says he wants to commit to his own longevity. Okay, his own source of power and pride and stability, sense of self and accomplishment and happiness. So again, does that meet this criteria? It's a very simple yes or no. I already have the answer. By all rights, you should too. Page of Swords, King of Wands, Temperance, the Knights of Swords. You need to know that if you try to heal anything, that you have to mean it. And I don't see you inclined to heal shit. It seems to me if this was a Ten of Pentacles that you could revel in, it would be that by now. And you wouldn't be questioning the bits and pieces of you that are committed to this. Just because you reduced your time, energy, and effort in it doesn't mean you're any less obligated to it. So you got to figure out, with more than a Page of Swords, that if, I told you, that's why you don't want to acknowledge this, honey, the Hermit with that Ace of Swords. Because if you acknowledged it, then you might actually have to feel pressured to fix it, to really heal it. And you got to ask yourself if that's something you want to do. Again, if you feel obligated to heal something that you don't want, is it for you? It's a circular argument. It's so low. Otherwise, you're telling me, Christina, when I set my mind to healing towards something, I work through it. But with this, I don't want to acknowledge that. That means you'd have the opportunity to fix it, but you don't want to take it. Probably because it doesn't participate very well with you anymore. I know it takes two. So whatever else is in there with you, you're not inclined to fix it anymore. Show me that Page of Pentacles. 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 Show me that Page of Pentacles, please. The Five of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Seven of Swords. You're still not comfortable addressing this yet. You're still not comfortable addressing it. Okay. You're opening up just a little bit more to the possibility of really having to hold yourself accountable for breaking from this. But your thing is, like, you don't want to deal with the emotional fallout. And that's not going to suit. I wish I could have seen something more powerful for you towards the end. And perhaps you do need more time. Just because I can see things clearly doesn't mean that the Virgo I'm looking at can. I like your strength and commitment. I do. But the willingness to commit to the best of you and everything that's functioning and beautiful and healthy and thriving does not match this criteria at all. So why won't you acknowledge it? Why won't you acknowledge it? You don't want it. You don't want to participate in it anymore, and you don't even really want the idea of healing it. You could, but you don't want to. What does that tell you? You could address this, but you don't want to. So you're showing me towards the end, Page of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Seven of Swords. You investing in the abandonment, really taking it seriously, breaking from this. You're saying you don't want to deal with the emotional turbulence that would follow. Is that really enough to keep you where you are? I see this over here. Your feelings to confront, I don't care how slow it is that you have something else that pulls you in another direction altogether. Something that's lovely and fierce and intense. And it seems to be custom built for you, whatever it is. There seems to be no conflict in that desire or that drive at all. I don't even know if you're aware of it. But no matter how slow, and that is very slow, because the investment in you freeing yourself from this is so small, of course this is going to take a long time for it to come through. If you were to up these pages into something more workable, Knights, Kings, and Queens, you would have more progress in this sector, and therefore more progress in that sector. One always begets the other. I don't see you committing more of yourself to breaking from this, because you're saying the emotional fallout's too messy and you don't want to deal with the guilt or the sadness of it. But you also are not willing to heal it. So how do you move on, Virgo? We can't have it both ways. I don't want this. It doesn't meet my criteria for commitment. It's not what I really want. But I'm not willing to cause any upsets either. To change, to grow, we must have growing pains. That means expansion. Hurts, aches, pains, owies. what you don't want to put into this anymore, namely yourself, tells you quite a bit. And it's not casual, guys. It's not casual at all. That big clue right there. The way you hold back, you don't give more. Say this is just fine. I'll just reduce my time, energy, and effort. Here's the real issue right here. If you acknowledge that you were doing this, you would feel obligated to fix it, and you don't want to fix it. You don't want to keep it, but you're not prepared to let it go. So how do you move on? Look at the things we're talking about. That's step one right there. Acknowledge it. I wish I had more time to explore this. It's different. It's different. Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles. This is in regards to something already very much in your life, and it would take a phenomenal amount of power, you say, to break from it. You're not ready to look at it, and you also don't want to heal it. Then you're showing me Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, towards this dream, this desire, this dream, this vision. You've thought about communicating with that about 100 times, but we haven't done it. This one, you're saying, is very hard, but you don't feel like fixing it. Again, that tells you it's kind of over, right? But we don't want to deal with the falling out, not yet. We haven't invested enough in that. We'd have to be more confrontational to get to this point, okay? This, I always say never give a page more than they can handle. These pages can handle this. Communication. With whatever that is. You'd like to. You've thought about it 100 times. But we have a little world with this person that we kind of want back. Shut up, Jesus. Sorry, that thing's always going off. That's the only thing I don't like about smartwatches. They're always making noise. I know it's a settings thing, guys. I know it's a setting thing. I wanted to get a little bit more in the backstory in this. You thought about communicating with that connection about 1,000 times. And even though you're acknowledging a cycle with that one, I don't know how old it is. I'm not digging that far back. In fact, I shouldn't have done this at all, but I was curious. It got my attention because it's so markedly different compared to the drudgery of what I'm seeing. I just know that we want it back, whatever that is. And it's not in any way related to the Six of Pentacles. That's not functioning anymore. Again, to not put too fine a point on it. Okay. Yeah, moving forward, guys. Let's get more confrontational. You know? You don't want to give more of yourself to this, but you also don't want to fix it. I mean, that's not commitment. That's just dragging things out. You know? What your sense of commitment is quite beautiful. So you got to ask yourself, your sense of commitment, which is a beautiful strength in you. At first I thought it was going to be used against you, or you were going to use it against yourself. No, your sense of commitment is beautiful. So is this. It's a choice here. How to move on? Acknowledge it. And as you make more progress in one, life is like domino effect, guys, especially when we're talking about energies. As you make progress in one, you make progress in the other. Leader of the light. It's beautiful. 36. Leader of the light. Where are you being called to serve and support others? 40. What is has no bearing on what will be. What would your ideal life look and feel like? Whatever this is, you're saying the past towards that doesn't matter. What is has no bearing on what will be. This is not your practice life. You need to decide, I have to agree. Whatever your beliefs are, whether you think you get a do-over or you're reincarnated, you really want to take that chance? I know I don't. All we can do is live life. Sometimes we make stupid decisions, but we honestly felt that they were correct at the time. Sometimes we make outstanding, fantastic decisions that we had no other premise on than that was correct for us in the moment. The point is that you get to choose. That this is not practice. Don't ever treat your life like it's practice for something else. You decide now. Be the leader in this. I'm putting these two together. Leader of the light. You need to be a leader in this respect. This is your life, and it's not a practice session, honey. It's the real deal. Okay. This, though, what is has no bearing on what will be. Whatever happened here with this old cycle, with that strong connection, it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. This is what needs to be decided upon. That will come in time. It's up to you. I know. I know it's in your hidden energies. I know you think it's not, but it is. If you have the power to decide to reduce your function in this, to give less of yourself to it because it's just become too difficult to maintain at a higher level, that is the Six of Pentacles, never mind an 8 or a 10, that tells you a lot. That should tell you a lot. And it's nowhere near your strengths as the Hierophant. You know, you might have some strong Taurus in your chart about what high value commitment is, because you're showing me a strength for high value commitment. That you thrive on high value commitment. You have no problem throwing yourself 100% into high value commitment. That you have no problem throwing yourself into something else that represents that high value commitment or attachment. So again, what does that tell you about what this isn't? Okay, it's up to you. Take action. No need to worry. Take action. There's no need to worry. It's truth, honey. So long as you abide by your truth, no matter how painful, disruptive, or uncertain it is, you will always be able to take action towards it. That doesn't mean it's easy. Of course not. Growing pains are never easy. But it kind of determines who we are as individuals. But take action. Things will fall into place. I hate that. I hate that you hesitate to invest in the breaking from this because you're afraid of emotional upset that it would cause. What about what you owe yourself? Cool your emotions. Full moon in Aries. That's what I'm saying. Cool your emotions by becoming more involved in them, not less. Cooling your emotions doesn't mean just suppressing them so you can forget about them. No, that's a guarantee to have the reverse effect. Things have a tendency to rise, become active, angry, resentful, bitter, or nuclear. The more we act like these things aren't important. Cool them off by acknowledging them. Okay. You're going to take some of the pressure out of it. Shine. New moon in Leo. Beautiful. New moon in Sag. Focus on the positive. Emphasis here on the new. You might have some very interesting Leo and Sagittarius placements in your chart. Aries too. They're all sun. They're all fire here. Time to shine. And focus on the positive. I see you focusing on the negative. Okay. Let's try to turn that around and focus on what you could be doing, what it is you could have. The kind of exchanges and experiences you could be having that are positive. Okay. I was wondering right now if I'm crooked. I'm like, well, it's too late for that. It's a little too late for that. Okay. Let's see if we can get some progress checks here. I saw the most jaded, cynical, but perhaps realistic comment, which made me question it immediately. It said, choose comfort, not love. Choose stability, not love. But if that person really believed in that, they wouldn't be watching tarot. People who try to convince me that they're so concluded, they're so decided. I was like, then why are you here? Because you're really at peace with what you just said and believe it? Or because you're not? I get comments like that when I see things like this. You don't like it. You don't want to be in it. It doesn't serve you. Change. There's something else for you. And people are like, you mean I have to do things? I have to be willing to change and be a different person and actually practice what I preach about what I believe commitment should look like. I'll have to get confrontational. I don't know if I can do all that. And for some of you, March is going to be very important. I'd rather just stick with what I know. Everything else is folly. I just watch tarot for fun. Yeah. Okay. And then 6 months. March to 6 months. There'll be some progress, I hope, in this. At dawn. On a Monday for some of you. Very specific. Virgo, I do hope this helped you. I don't know what that Six of Pentacles represents to you guys. I just know that in giving it up, relinquishing it, admitting that it's not for you, turning around, dealing it, cutting your losses, and accepting the emotional fallout that comes with it, because there is a responsibility, you bet 100%, bet your ass. There is 100% an accountability, observation, that this is the fallout or the result of abandoning something. I accept it, but if I didn't accept it, then I wouldn't be able to move on. That's what acceptance is. You have such a strong set of criteria in you that says this is what I would like, this is where I'm at, this is where I could be. But in order to do what it is that I need to do for me, I'd have to be willing to do this, and I just can't quite see myself doing it. Again, I don't know what that Six of Pentacles is to you. But it most certainly isn't up to snuff. If you're having to go like this, turning yourself down so you can give less and less to it because it exhausts you, bores you, doesn't satisfy you, it doesn't give back in equal measure, but you're in it, so just give less of yourself to it, it'll be fine. It might work if there was healing behind it, but there isn't any. You don't want to. So again, what does that tell you? Okay. You have enough information here to understand how to move on, or at least you should. That's the idea. To make progress, to move forward. I hope this helps you. Put in the comments. Take care. Be well.